I go to Costa and loads of places, and this coffee's disgusting. Then when I got my proper coffee machine, now I have a couple of brands of coffee that I enjoy drinking. Starbucks is okay.
I used to work for Starbucks.
It tastes sort of buttery.
It's because it's double popped. When you roast the coffee beans, they pop. Starbucks have like this patent, which means that they get to pop theirs twice.
I don't know if that gives it the buttery flavour.
I don't know, it gives it its flavour, that's all I know.
Okay.
I mean, it's quite nice to have an espresso now and again, like if I'm on holiday, I like an espresso and just like a chat and a little smoke cigar.
I mean, I drink 6 espressos a day, so I can't really suggest it.
What's the last time in the day that you'll drink?
Absolute last?
Yeah.
5 or 6 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
And your sleep's alright?
I've always slept fine. I mean, that's the reason I get away with it, is because I sleep.
Especially your tolerance is quite good, because you have quite a lot of caffeine now.
Yeah. I do. I mean, I cut back occasionally.
Yeah, but then you feel it, huh?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I know that that's when I need to cut back a bit more. And then the next day I'm alright. It's not like I have days on days on days of caffeine headaches. It might just be like one day, if I go, I'm going to treat myself and I have a late coffee.
Coffee.
Because I don't drink alcohol anymore.
Yeah, people have coffees after dinner, like, that was the worst
What
thing.
the fuck?
I know. Like,
I mean, obviously back
would
in
you
the...
like dessert? Oh yeah, I'll have the coffee, please. And you're like...
I mean, back in the day, I drank Red Bull 24/7.
Yeah, kick.
But, yeah, kick. Red Rooster or something.
That was it.
Yeah. But now I know better. Now I try not to have any coffees. I mean, I tell people the information, which is 12 hours before bedtime.
Yeah,
but there's no way I could...
midday is like my cut-off point generally with coffee.
Well, I mean, that's the 12
Unless
hours.
I'm doing like a long drive late at night and I need to...
Well, they reckon caffeine's got a half-life of 6 hours, therefore a quarter life of 12 hours.
Yeah.
So if you have a shot of espresso, 12 hours later, you've still got a quarter of a shot of espresso, so it will affect your sleep.
Yeah.
So I tell people that, but then I say, personally, I will, 1 or 2 o'clock, I try and cut off coffee. Worst case, if I feel really like a fancy one at 6 o'clock, I won't always do it, but I'll let myself have one between 5 and 6, never afterwards. But I've always slept really well. I don't have any issues sleeping.
And do you dream a lot or not? Some people just don't.
Everyone dreams, it's whether you remember it or not.
Yeah. But you have an awareness of whether you've dreamt or not, surely. Like, sometimes I'll wake up and be like, wow, I had a really unsettled night. I must have been dreaming.
No, REM is when you're dreaming. Everybody dreams. It's just if you remember it, your sleep quality was of a nature where it was just conscious enough to be aware of it. If you have really good sleep, like if your sleep is solidly, you're deep and you shouldn't remember it. It should be like going to sleep, waking up, refreshed.
Nice to remember your dreams, though. I think that...
Oh, you don't like Huberman? That guy I tried to make you listen to.
Ah, yeah.
Then we're not talking about whether you should like him or not. But anyway, one of the things he spoke about was there's
Didn't say I didn't like him.
a 3-vitamin stack that he takes for sleep time, and they're all geared to help not only your body but also better sleep. But one of them, and I can't remember which one it is, I think it's L-theanine, gives you very vivid dreams. And I've had it quite a few times when I've taken these things.
Do it.
Yeah. And this is one of the dreams I still remember, and this was a year ago I had it now. It was just like, have you seen Sin City?
Yeah, of course.
Well, not of course, loads of people haven't. Because that's the
No,
best
I mean,
way to...
you know me. You know I have.
That's the best way to try and describe it, because this dream was basically black and white.
Nice.
And I was racing through a real zigzaggy road through a forest in like an old vintage 1920s like gangster car.
Cool.
And there was something that was bright red.
That's what we...
Like a leaf or a bud, whatever. And it might have been very much to do with my tattoo. You're probably onto something there. But that was the dream, and that was after. And then a couple of the dreams have been quite fun because I always have fun, even if it's scary. I'm quite scared. To me, a scary dream is more like an adventure dream.
Yeah, a bit of a buzz on.
Yeah, it's like nothing's ever. The only time that I've ever gone, is more been quite a sad dream. Yeah,
I've actually like cried myself out of dreams before. I've actually or come out of a dream saying no or things like that. I've actually because it's been that distressing or frustrating, and I pulled myself out of it because I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not to that nature, but I have maybe 2 or 3 times in my life woken up and gone, oh no, she's alright.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
You kind of need, when you come out of it.
She wakes up fucking, like, fuck, what's going on? She's like, you were there. I was like, oh, fuck's sake.
It's real.
No, it's about me again.
You did that to me. Yeah.
Well, like I was dying. I was like, I'm not dead. I'm here.
Aww. Yeah, no, those are horrible.
Or cheated on her or something like that.
Yeah. That's one that comes up. I mean, it's all your unconscious worries.
But she suffers from anxiety and all this sorts of stuff and sleeps like a piece of shit all the time anyway. So
yeah.
Last night, she slept with all of her pointy bits sticking in me. Like elbows, knees.
Okay. Tits.
No, not the soft, nice bits. Just
the pointy, jagged bits, you mean?
Yeah, like she was sleeping like this. Bits. Because, so, I'm this big.
Yeah. And she's like a little pea.
She's like this big.
Aww. She's a good big spoon then.
And this is the bed. And
all the corners were up here.
And this is kind of the proportion of... I was literally had my arm and this bit was off the edge of the bed because she had these things sticking in me and I didn't want to be like, fuck off.
Yeah. It's usually me and him, to be honest. But last night, he was well unsettled. He was like making noises, he was grinding his teeth. Mm-hmm. He kept moving, taking the cover, and I was like, fuck. I said, what's up with you? Like this. He wouldn't have heard me, really. He was asleep. I was like, what's with this? Or something like that in the middle of the night. And yeah, I felt like really unsettled because he was super unsettled. I think like he had a beer and a couple of glasses of wine and he was just not, fully sober when he went to sleep. So I think he was a bit more fidgety and he has to get up at like a ridiculous hour every day. So sometimes that can, if he's got a stressful job, he would like grind his teeth more and things like that. Is that bruxism? I think that's called.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just something. But usually
time for a gum shield is what it's
usually it's complaining that I'm, taking all the cover.
If the cats are in there, then they get a bit as well. So no. But she also has a heated blanket, and I'm a big advocate for sleeping in the cold.
Yeah.
And her heated blanket's on her side of the bed, but she's got it on a timing plug. But apparently she forgot to turn one of the timers, so that was on. And I woke up last night with like my left side all warm and irritant. And she's there, and then she keeps saying, "Oh, I don't sleep. I don't sleep." Well, that's probably because you're cooking yourself at night time. The body's designed to cool down a couple of degrees to go to sleep. You should be sleeping in a cold environment.
Yeah, I like flipping the duvet over when I'm first getting, because it's like, I also like a cuddle and to be like nice and warm with the body heat. I think there's something very comforting about that.
Yeah,
until the point where it's hot and just
that's the thing,
turn
right?
around, so give me my space again.
Here are the conundrums. So one thing, all the technical beds these days, the big expensive ones, they're designed to keep a bed cool so that you can sleep evenly throughout the night.
Crazy,
not keep it warm, keep it cool. Now, the other side of it, she wants to stay warm, and I am like a furnace. Yet she always tries to curl up and roll away on the other side of it. I'm like, instead of spending all of the electricity money on heated blankets and bed sheets and fan heaters, why don't you just
some pajamas.
Come a bit closer to me?
Yeah. So you
just sleep nearer to me.
Oh yeah, and if she's cold, then you're getting the coldness in your exchange.
Well, I'm trying to work out why it's different, because every time I touch her, she's roasting hot. And every time she touches, and all parts of me are cold, but I'm always one that's like uncomfortable, and she's the one that says she's cold. So I'm trying to work out, and I think we're like animals. Take the Malamute, which is the one I know and love because it's what I've got.
Yeah.
Their fur coat is designed with a thick undercoat and a less thick but sort of longer outer coat. And they don't let heat out. So when you see them with snow on them, it's because the snow hasn't melted because the heat has not escaped.
Yeah.
They're still hot. I feel like I'm like that. My heat doesn't really escape, so I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas her heat escapes, so she's cold.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Perhaps.
That's interesting logic.
That's my argument for being
Leave us a comment if you know better. Because I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, because maybe that's the same for me and Ray.
They always say men are always warm and women are always cold. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like my skin or my back is hot. Like I might still be a little bit chilly.
So I can relate it to when I have sunburn. Why do I feel cold? Because blood vessels are at the surface trying to let the heat out. Yeah. So the heat's coming off and you feel the heat coming out. You actually feel...
And that's why, top tip, if you ever get like sunstroke or something, don't fucking wrap up in a blanket. No matter how cold you are, your body is trying to cool down. You have to just suffer the cold and it'll end a lot faster.
Top tip. Don't spend too much time in the sun that you get burned.
Well, there is that. Yeah, don't spend 3 days making a useless thing in stupid heat.
I work outside all summer. 10 months of the year I'm outside working. And obviously for a couple of months I go white again. So when I go back to the sun, the first bits of sun are often go out for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm working back in the shade. And I'm consciously being aware that I'm not in the sun too long.
Yeah.
So that I build up a bit of sunnedness.
And generally... like that, and so I'm invested in a project and being stubborn and showing off with myself, like, no, we can do this, and then I'm paying for it.
I mean, people could say you wear sun cream.
Yeah, you could.
I don't wear sun cream personally.
Me either.
But that's because I sweat more than...
I think I like paraffin in it as well, and stuff like that.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I'm not really a chemical... I'm not like an anti-chemical person like you.
No, I just kind of think...
I don't use chemicals if I don't have to, but...
You're going to put paraffin in something that's trying to keep the heat off you. It's a bit like a... Weird. Isn't that weird? I find that weird.
Could be. But my issue is that because I sweat so much, as soon as I put... I sweat.
And there's in your eyes.
I mean, people go, oh yeah, I sweat. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, just be smart and
I've got my only successful TikTok video was of how sweaty I am.
Oh, nice.
My only successful TikTok video was me.
You should try and get a cloth and wring it out and measure that shit. That would be interesting.
Yeah, the trouble is with sweating out my head. It's usually in the t-shirt. It sticks. I can wring the t-shirts out.
Yeah. And just see how much.
Yeah, I mean, cloth. That's just one.
You could sell that shit. There's an audience for everything, right?
Salty flavour.
Buy it.
I sweat so much that it runs in my eyes, and it's like ah.
Yeah, no,
nice. And I can't because then it's on my hands, and every time I work with sawdust and stuff all the time, I'm rubbing my eyes like.
Ah, yeah, I know that one.
I should wear goggles, but I don't. Sorry, kids.
Wear goggles.